In the day's other news, President Trump called for bipartisan action on immigration. He's offered a plan that protects young immigrants, the so-called DACA recipients, but also limits legal immigration and calls for $25 billion for a Mexico border wall.
We're going to get something done. We hope it's got to be bipartisan because the Republicans really don't have the votes to get it done in any other way, so it has to be bipartisan, but hopefully the Democrats will join us, or enough of them will join us, so we can really do something great for DACA and for immigration generally.
Mr. Trump spoke at the swearing-in for Alex Azar as the new Secretary of Health and Human Services. Vice President Pence administered the oath of office to the former drug company executive. He previously served under President George W. Bush. Afghanistan has suffered its fourth terror attack in the past 9 days. This time, 11 were killed at a site in Kabul, where both Taliban and Islamic State extremists are waging a violent new campaign. John Yang has our report.
The Afghan capital was still reeling from a Taliban attack that killed more than 100 people on Saturday when Islamic State militants struck this morning. 5 heavily armed fighters stormed an army outpost near Afghanistan's main military academy on the western outskirts of the city. Police say 2 gunmen were killed in the ensuing shootout, 2 others blew themselves up, and 1 was captured. They struck just 48 hours after Taliban suicide attackers detonated an ambulance filled with explosives on a crowded central Kabul street. At least 103 died, another 230 wounded.
Bodies were everywhere, near the hospital and everywhere.
A week earlier, Taliban militants assaulted Kabul's Intercontinental Hotel, killing 22 people. And last Wednesday, an ISIS attack killed 6 at a charity office in the eastern city of Jalalabad. President Ashraf Ghani vowed today the attacks will be avenged. But that did little to reassure Kabul residents.
Look at what is happening to this nation. What kind of government is this? You are not even able to secure the city. How can we complain about the government securing the provinces?
A whole different fight over there.
In Washington, President Trump, meeting with members of the UN Security Council, dismissed any direct peace talks with the Taliban.
They're killing people left and right. Innocent people are being killed left and right. Bombing in the middle of children, in the middle of families, bombing, killing all over Afghanistan. So we don't want to talk with the Taliban. There may be a time, but it's going to be a long time.
Instead, Mr. Trump touted the administration's more aggressive military strategy.
Let's go.
It includes deploying some 3,000 additional U.S. troops. New reports say 1,000 are readying to deploy as soon as this spring to advise and assist Afghan infantry on the front lines. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm John Yang.
In Moscow, the Kremlin today dismissed opposition leader Alexei Navalny as a possible threat to President Putin's re-election. A spokesman said it is unlikely that anyone can compete with Putin. On Sunday, Navalny organized nationwide protests, charging that the coming March vote will be rigged. Police grabbed Navalny, forced him into a bus, and held him until late last night. Russia's Paralympics team has been banned from competing in the upcoming Winter Games in South Korea for doping. Instead, about 35 Russians who can prove that they are not using performance-enhancing drugs will be allowed to compete. The president of the International Paralympic Committee made the announcement today in Bonn, Germany.
We often said during our deliberations last Saturday, can we look in the eyes of the athletes, all of them, and say that we are doing everything that we can to guarantee a level playing field? And the answer was yes. So we are not rewarding Russia, but we are allowing athletes that we believe are clean to compete under a neutral flag.
The doping crackdown has also barred Russia from competing in next month's Olympic Games. Back in this country, baseball's Cleveland Indians announced that they will remove the Chief Wahoo logo from their uniforms next year. It follows decades of complaints that the cartoonish image, which dates back to the 1940s, is racist. The team says that they will continue to sell Chief Wahoo merchandise so that they don't lose ownership of the trademark. On Wall Street, stocks pulled back from recent highs as Apple led a tech slump and oil prices slipped. The Dow Jones Industrial Average lost 177 points to close at 26,439. The Nasdaq fell 39 points and the S&P 500 slid 19. And Bruno Mars was the biggest winner at last night's Grammy Music Awards with 6, including Album, Record, and Song of the Year. The night had a decided political flavor. Pop singer and abuse survivor Kesha led a tribute to the Me Too movement, and Hillary Clinton appeared in a video for a skit lampooning President Trump. The TV audience fell below 20 million people, down from 26 million last year.